What's up, Gratified Grads? Welcome to How To Mondays on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. Today's video, we're going to be talking about boundaries. And to be a little bit more specific, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries pertaining to your workplace and your job. So, the first question that I just want to ask you to get your thinking period is where and how do you set boundaries in your life currently? I've asked this question in a number of groups and settings before, and it always interests me how people initially say that I don't know what it means to have a boundary, and I don't know where I have a boundary. And so, one, I want everyone to leave this video knowing that you have boundaries, you have set boundaries, and then two, I want everyone to leave this video knowing that they can set boundaries. And these are some tips that I hope will give you a bit of a head start on figuring out just how you can set your own boundaries pertaining to your work. There are boundaries that you can set in other aspects of your life, but like I said, right here, for right now, we're talking about work. So number one, you need to know the basic requirements of the job or the task that you are signing up to complete. So for example, when you get asked to be on a board, we'll say, you should know what are the basic requirements of being on this board. What are the day-to-day tasks? What are the week-to-week tasks or the month-to-month tasks? It just literally depends on the structure of the board that you're joining. What is the time requirement? What is the time commitment that I'm making and agreeing to be on this board? How much preparation typically goes into preparing for the meetings? Because when you think about it, you have these meetings, right? But then you have to prepare before going into these meetings. So the time that you're committing is not just the 1 hour time that this board meets, but then also that additional 1 to 2 hour time that it takes to prepare for that meeting. So just having an understanding of the requirements, the explicit requirements of this job, and then the more implicit things that you yourself have to do in order to prepare for this task or this job or this position that you're signing up to. The second thing is you got to be real with yourself and know what you're capable of giving. What time are you capable of putting into this initiative or this board? Let's go back to that board example that I was just giving. If it requires a total of 3 hours a week, so that's meaning 1 hour of meeting and 2 hours of preparing for the meeting, well, then that means that you have to actually say that, okay, am I capable of giving these 3 hours? You got to look at your entire schedule as a whole. What does your life require of you? What does your life require of you? What does your other duties and tasks at work require of you? Just what is required of you. You have to think about those things. And then think about how is this new position going to fit in with those things. And then finally, what is, I think, the most important of the three is, are you even willing to do this? Right? So a lot of times we get in these positions where we feel like we have to say yes. And I want to push back on that, and I want you to know that you have the ability to say no. And so this is where being confident in your boundaries is really important. And because it's often, like I said, you just feel like you have to say yes. You feel like you have to go along with all of the opportunities that are given to you. But if you know your boundaries, if you know that, yes, this sounds like a great opportunity or a great thing for me to participate in, but you know that you are not capable of giving that time, then you say no. Or if, you know, it sounds like a great opportunity, but it's just not something that you're interested in, like your personal self just is not interested in this particular opportunity, though it is a great opportunity, then you can say no. I think people spend a lot of time giving their energy and efforts to things that they are not truly passionate about because they don't have firm boundaries in place for themselves. And so if you have firm boundaries in place for yourself, you can recognize that something is an amazing opportunity, and you can still confidently say, I don't think this is a good fit for me, but I think that someone else would value this opportunity much more than I. So hopefully this was a short video, but hopefully these are some tips that you can take in and figure out how exactly do they work for you, and you can utilize them in your day-to-day life and help you to graduate with gratification. See ya.